You are watching Daily Market Pulse. Today is Wednesday, April 29, 2026. If you want a clean daily read on macro and market risk, subscribe for the next briefing. Crypto faces 80% correction risk as rates go higher for longer. Here's the framework for today's briefing. Crypto outlook. Will crypto crash or rebound? Macro risks. What are the key market risks? Investment opportunities. Where can investors find value? Daily financial market update, live prices, gold, silver, crypto, equities, US bonds, and trend. Now, let's look at crypto. The crypto market is facing a potential 80% correction risk, driven by the Federal Reserve's higher for longer rate stance and potential oil shocks. This has led to a mixed market outlook with both bearish and bullish views. Investors must navigate this complex landscape with caution, watching the 60K or support level closely and preparing for a possible downturn. As always, keep an eye on gold and silver as traditional safe haven assets and on Bitcoin as a faster-moving indicator of liquidity conditions and risk appetite. Now let's look at macro risks. The Federal Reserve has signaled a higher for longer rate stance, driven by potential oil shocks and inflation. This has led to a rise in the 10-year yield, which is now at 4.72%. Investors must navigate this complex landscape with caution, watching the 10-year yield and the Federal Reserve's next move closely. The dollar remains a key variable here. A stronger dollar tends to compress commodity prices and weigh on emerging market assets, while a weaker dollar does the opposite. Now, let's look at investment opportunities. The equities market is facing significant uncertainty, driven by earnings season and valuation risks. The S&P 500 is currently at 5,234, and investors are watching the market closely. A downturn in equities could lead to a broader market decline, making it essential for investors to navigate this complex landscape with caution. Real yields are worth watching closely in this environment. When real yields rise, growth assets face headwinds. When they fall, hard assets and risk assets tend to benefit. Now let us turn to today's live market snapshot, where gold, crypto, stocks. Now for our daily financial market update, here is where the key asset classes stand as of Wednesday, April 29, 2026. Gold is trading at 4,613, slightly higher on the day, and is lower over the past 5 sessions. Silver is at 74.19, higher today and lower over the past 5 sessions. In crypto, Bitcoin is at 77,186, slightly lower on the session, and slightly lower over the past 5 sessions. Ethereum is at 2,326, slightly higher today. Other major crypto, Solana at $84.76, BNB at 6.27 x 3939. On equities, the S&P 500 at 7,138. So what's the summary and conclusion of today? The market is facing rising risks, including a potential 80% correction in crypto, and investors must navigate this complex landscape with caution. Thank you for your attention, and we will see you again tomorrow.